everyone, I am Vibha Chauhan and welcome to 10th classes Funda Clear. So today I will explain chapter 4 from Indian Polity book written by M Laxmikanth, and the chapter is Preamble of the Constitution. So in this chapter we will discuss the preamble of our Indian Constitution. So what is a preamble? Let us first discuss this. A preamble is an introduction or preface, you can say, of the Constitution. And the American Constitution was the first to begin with a preamble, and after that many countries adopted this practice of preamble. So our Indian preamble of our Indian Constitution is called as the identity card of the Constitution by N.A. Palkiwala, an eminent jurist and the constitutional expert. He was a constitutional expert. So he called the preamble of Indian Constitution as the identity card of our Indian Constitution. And our preamble of the Indian Constitution has been amended by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and three new words, that are secular, social and integrity, has been added into our preamble after that amendment. So in this chapter we will discuss about the preamble of our Indian Constitution. So our first topic is text of the preamble. Text of the preamble. How does it sound of our Indian preamble? Preamble of the Indian Constitution. It sounds like, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, political, social and economic, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among all them, and last, fraternity, of assuring the dignity of individual and unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby enact, adopt and give to ourselves this Constitution. So this is how our Indian preamble sounds. This is how the text of our Indian preamble is. So next is ingredients of the preamble. Ingredients of the preamble. So our Indian preamble provides 4 ingredients, you can say, that are, first is that source of the authority, that is, the Indian preamble states that the source of the authority, source of the power of the Constitution is from the people, that is, the people, the citizens of India are the source of power, you can say, source of authority. Second is that it declares the nature of the Constitution, of our Indian Constitution. It declares that the nature of our Indian Constitution is like that is socialist, secular, democratic and republican polity. This is the nature of our Indian Constitution. Third is that date of adoption of the Constitution. The preamble declares that the date of adoption of our Constitution is 26 November 1949. And fourth and last is that it declares, the preamble declares 4 things, that are justice, liberty, equality and fraternity to the citizens of India. That are the 4 ingredients of our preamble of our Indian Constitution. So third topic is keywords in the preamble. So we will understand some keywords that are in preamble, that are some keywords like sovereign, socialist, republic. We will discuss them. So first is sovereign. Sovereign, what does it mean by sovereign in our preamble of our Indian Constitution? Sovereign means that Indian, you can say, Republic of India is republic, is free, independent. That is a sovereign state, you can say. The India is a sovereign state. It is neither dependency nor a dominion, because earlier, before the passage of Independence Act of 1947, India was a dependency, you can say, or a colony under British Empire. And after that, after the passage of Independence Act of 1947, it was not a dependency but was a dominion of Commonwealth of British Empire, you can say that it was a dominion. And and it became completely sovereign on 26th January 1950. It became completely sovereign, you can say, neither dependency nor a dominion, and it has its free own will to conduct its both external and internal affairs. That is because it's a sovereign, so there would not be any authority above it. The Indian Constitution, the Indian government has freedom to conduct its internal and external affairs. So that is meant by sovereign in our preamble. That is meant, what is meant by the sovereign that is written in our preamble. And sovereignty doesn't mean that we have joined UNA, you can say, United Nations organizations, and we have also joined the Commonwealth. But that doesn't mean that we are not a sovereign country. India is a sovereign country. That doesn't matter that we have joined UNO, that is United Nations organizations, and British Commonwealth, you can say. So that doesn't matter on our sovereignty of India, you can say. So that is meant by sovereign, you can say. So next is socialist. Socialist. What is meant by socialist? Socialist that was added to our Indian Constitution, to the preamble of our Indian Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act. Constitution Amendment Act of 1976. It was added after that. So after it was added, that means India is a socialist country, you can say. But before the adding of that word, India was also socialist, you can say, in the term of political, you can say, because Jawaharlal Nehru had already said that in of the session of 1955, he had already said that India is a socialist country. He has already declared that. But that was his statement. That was on the political matter. So to form this as a constitutional method, they have, after the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act, socialist has been added to our preamble after the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. And our India is a socialist as a democratic socialist, not as a state socialist, or you can say communism socialist. Democratic socialist means that we have a mixed economy, you can say. That is, there is no nationalism, you can say, and both private and public, you can say, matters economy are combined, you can say. And in communist and, or you can say, state socialist, there is a way of nationalism and of the abolition of private property. So we have adopted democratic socialist. That is how the socialist word has been added and how the India is a socialist country. But after the economic strategy of 1991, it has diluted towards the socialist of India, you can say democratic socialist of India, you can say. So that is what is meant by socialist in our preamble of our Indian Constitution. So next is secular. Secular, you know that India is a secular country, and that is why secular term has also been added to preamble by the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act of 1976. Secular term was added to our preamble after the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act of 1976, and it gives a positive sense of secularism, not a negative sense of secularism that is used in Western countries. We have already discussed that negative, that is the differentiation between religion and state, but we have adopted a positive, that is there is no differentiation, and we give respect, you can say equality to all religions. That is a positive sense of secularism. So you know that India, before the term was added to the preamble, India was also secular by giving rights that are under Article 25 to 28, that is the freedom to religion, rights to the freedom of religion, also give a sense of secularism. So you know that India is a secularism, and secular term has also been added to our preamble. So next is democratic. Democratic. So you know that India is a democratic country. So what is meant by democracy? Democracy means the sovereignty and the high supreme power of the citizens. That means the citizens of that country are the highest source of power, you can see. So there are two types of democratic countries, that are direct and indirect. Direct, for example, you can say Switzerland. Direct, where there are no representatives and the people, you can say, directly do the works. And whereas in the direct, you can say indirect democratic countries, for example, you can take USA. So in indirect democratic countries, there are representatives that are elected by people, by the citizens of that country, and those representatives are the source of highest power, you can say, and they make laws, you can say, they enforce those laws, you can say. So you can say that India is an indirect country, indirect democratic country. And even in indirect democratic countries, there are two types, that are parliamentary and presidential. So India has adopted parliamentary form of government, and thus you can say that India is an indirect parliamentary democratic country. And Indian democracy doesn't mean only the political democratic, but it also makes sense in views of economic democracy, you can say, and social democracy. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of drafting committee, you can say, on 25th November 1949 said that make a stressed extend to these three views, that are social democracy, political democracy and economic democracy. He said that these are nothing without each other, you can say, without any other. If you take only political democracy, that is also not right. If you take only economic democracy, that is also not right. But you can see that all of these three democracies, they are dependent on each other. So Indian constitution has adopted all these three democracies. That is not that it makes sense only in the view of political democracy. So you can say that what is the democratic means. So next is republic. So in indirect form of government, indirect form of democracy, there are also two types, are classified into two types, that are monarchy and republic. So in monarchy, what is that there would be head that comes over succession, and he can rule that country for as much as years he wants. That is, there is no limitation on period of time. There is no period of time for his ruling on that country. That means if you take example of Britain, you know that there is a rule of king and queen who comes after succession. That means Queen Elizabeth now present time is ruling. So before she has come after succession, over succession, you can say. So you can say in monarchy there is a hereditary head, that is he or she comes after succession. An example can be Britain. And next is republic, that has been adopted by India. Republic means that there is not a hereditary head, a head that is elected. In republic there is a head who has been elected, and there is a period of time for him being the head of that country. For example, in India, highest post is of president. He is a republic head of India, and his time period is of 5 years, you know. So in India there is republic form of government, and republic also makes two other senses, that are first, that sovereignty of the all people, of all citizens of India, not of king or queen. And second is that the absence of privileged classes. That means hence all public offices can be joined by any person, any citizens of India. So you know that India is a republic country, you can say. So next is justice. Justice. So Indian preamble, you have also read that justice is also written in our preamble of our Indian constitution. So justice has been divided into three parts, that are political justice, economic justice and social justice. So, and these three types of justice can be classified, can be made by the provisions that are from you can see fundamental rights and the directive principles of state policy. So let us discuss what they are. So first is political, you can say political justice. Political justice means that all people of India, all citizens of India have access to any public offices, head offices you can say. And next is economic justice. Economic justice means that there has to be no people, no citizens, there can be no citizens discriminated on the basis of wealth you can say. All citizens of India you can say that have been equality, you can say have been justice in wealth, income, property you can say. And last is social justice. Social justice means that all citizens of India cannot be discriminated on the basis of religion, caste, sex, place of birth. These are social matters you can say. So they cannot be discriminated on socially you can say. So these are three justice provided by you can say by the term justice. These are three types of justice provided by different provisions made by fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. So next is liberty. Liberty, what is meant by liberty? So liberty means the absence of restraints on the voice of citizens you can say, or on the voice of people you can say. So Indian preamble has provided liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. So you can see that liberty, all people, all citizens of India have liberty of all these things, of thought, they can spread their thoughts, of expressions you can say, of belief, faith and worship. And these liberty of expression, thought, belief, faith and worship are enforceable by the court of law if they are violated. If they are violated, then you can go to the court of law. But there are limitations. Liberty doesn't mean that it is a license that is you can do whatever you want. There are limitations that are written on the constitution, because a person cannot be given fully freedom what they want to do. They can do anything if they want. So liberty has its own limitations you can say. So next is equality. Equality, that are Indian citizens have been given equality, and there are three types you can say, three provisions that are made by equality, that are civic, political and economic. So civic that are those provisions that are made by Article 14, under Article 14 to Article 18, that are equality before law, abolition of untouchability, abolition of titles, that are some people took very high titles, that are abolition of titles you can say, equality on the basis of employment opportunities in government offices you can say. So this is civic equality you can say. Next is political equality. Political equality, that is all citizens of India are free to join any services of India, to stand up, to raise voice against government, to stand up if they want in election. So they are all freedom, equality, there have been no discrimination, there should not be any discrimination. So that is what is equality in our preamble. So next is fraternity. Fraternity, what do you mean by fraternity? Fraternity means you can say a sense of brotherhood, a common brotherhood. And fraternity that is written in a preamble of our Indian constitution assures two things, that is, first is dignity of every individual, and second is integrity and unity of our Indian of the nation. So integrity that was added after the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act of 1976. It was added after that amendment. So fraternity assures these two things, and dignity of individuals, that is, it is not on the sense, only in the sense of the better setup, you can say. K.M. Munshi, who was a member of drafting committee, said that the dignity of individuals is not only in the sense of better setup, high setup, that is in the sense of making every individual sacred. It was meant, the dignity of individuals is meant for it. And for providing the dignity of women, there has also been so many provisions. For example, under the fundamental duties that comes under Article 51A, it is that it shall be the duty of every citizen to renounce practices derogatory to women. So you can say that there have been made so many provisions to assure the dignity of women and integrity and unity of the nation. That means our India is integrated, united. And in Article 1, there has been written union state, you can say, union and its territory, you can say. So it has been written union state under Article 1, and it implies that, it says that India is a country, union country, and no state has right to secede from it, and it aims at the problems, hindrances of nationalism, communalism, regionalism, casteism, you can say. So this is what is fraternity means in our constitution, in our preamble of our Indian constitution. So next is significance of the preamble. So you know that there is a great importance, significance of the preamble, of our Indian preamble of our Indian constitution. It is in essence, you can say, spirit, summary, you can say identity card of the constitution. So many people have said on the basis that there is a significance of a preamble. For example, K.M. Munshi, who was a member of drafting committee, said that the preamble of our Indian constitution is horoscope of our Indian constitution. The preamble is the horoscope of our Indian constitution. And similarly, Sir Ernest Barker, you can say, who was a constitutional expert, said that preamble is keynote of our Indian constitution. He meant that there is summary, there is essence, so it is like a keynote. It is more like a keynote of our Indian constitution. So you know that Indian preamble is very important, very crucial, very, you can say, of a great importance, significance in our Indian constitution, you can say. And many people has commented on that. Many people like Sir Aladi Krishna Swami Iyer, who was also a member of Constituent Assembly, said that the preamble is like what we had thought or dreamt. So you can say that there have been so many comments on the significance of the preamble. The preamble is of high significance because it says moral, you can say, it is like a moral obligation of the constitution. It is of great value. It is like a summary of the constitution, identity card of the constitution, you can say. So next is preamble as part of the constitution. So a very controversial question is that, is preamble a part of the constitution? Yes, it is, because preamble is also a part of the constitution. If you are saying identity card of the constitution, preamble as the identity card of the constitution, so it is not, is it not a part of the constitution? Yes, it is, because if you are saying about your self identity card, so is it not part of yours? Yes, it is, right? So similarly, preamble is also a part of constitution, but thinking so, there have been so many, you can say, conflicts. First, in 1960, in Berubari case, Supreme Court declared that the preamble is not a part of the constitution. The Supreme Court said that. But after, in 1973, in Keswan and Bharti case, the Supreme Court held and declared that the preamble is a part of constitution. It neglected the before earlier statement and declared that the preamble is a part of a constitution, of our Indian constitution. It is a part of our Indian constitution. It is not that it isn't part of Indian constitution, it is. And afterwards, in LIC case, it also said that Indian preamble is a part of our Indian constitution. So after saying all this, you can say that preamble is a part of our Indian Constitution, and it has been also declared by Supreme Court. But doing so, there have been so many conflicts, you can say. So next and last topic of this chapter is amendability of the preamble. Amendability of the preamble. So if I ask you, can the preamble be amended by the government, you can say by Supreme Court, anyone? Yes, you will say that yes, it has been amended after the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act of 1976. So it has been amended and can be amended. So for doing so, Supreme Court said that it cannot be amended. In the historic Chauhan and Bharti case, the Supreme Court said that it cannot be amended. But afterwards it was amended, and three new words that are socialist, secular and integrity has been added. But Supreme Court said that it held and said that the preamble can be amended, but the basic structure of it cannot be amended. You can add more words but cannot erase the basic structure of the preamble. That is what the Supreme Court said. So you can say that preamble can be amended, but in history, in all these years, it has been amended only for once, that is the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So you can see that the preamble is of high significance, can be amended and is very valuable, you can say. So this is all about the chapter. We have discussed everything, every topic, and we have discussed what the preamble is. We know that significance, can it be amended, we have discussed its keywords. So this is all about the chapter. I have discussed all topics and subtopics, and I will be covering next chapters in further videos. So thank you very much.